What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm super excited because we are going to be doing an easy everyday 10-minute all drugstore makeup routine. This is basically the routine that I do whenever I'm running late and need to rush out the door, which recently has been like every day, but it definitely makes me feel like more put together than if I just rush out the door with no makeup on at all. It doesn't take a lot of time and everything is affordable. So I'm so excited to share with you guys everything. My makeup routine has definitely changed a lot in this past year, so I feel like an updated one was well overdue. So hopefully you guys are excited. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And of course, right as I start filming, it gets so dark outside. It's literally 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It looks like it's like 6 o'clock at night because the storms are rolling in. All right, up first, we're gonna start with a primer. I have been loving this one from Milani. This is the Milani Bright Side Illuminating Primer. It just gives the prettiest glow to your skin. So just gonna squeeze some of this on. I have just been all about the glowy makeup life, and this is so glowy and pretty. All right, up next, we're gonna jump in with foundation. And my favorite one from the drugstore is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. So I have this in shade 455. Just gonna shake this up. And to apply, I've been loving this sponge. This is from Eco Tools. I got mine on Amazon, but I'm sure you can get it in store as well. Comes in a 2-pack and they're really, really good, like high quality, super soft and bouncy and like blend really well. So I've really been liking those. And they're of course super affordable. So I'm just gonna pop some foundation on my face with my finger and then blend right on out with the sponge. It's also kind of like a big sponge, so I feel like it blends it really quickly, which when you're in a rush is very helpful. Like if you only have 10 minutes to get out the door, you need stuff that's gonna blend fast. Comment down below if you guys are back, like if you worked in an office building, if you're back to work in the office yet, or if you're still at home. Obviously, like my job is, I've always worked from home, so for me it's no different, but I was talking to a lot of my neighbors and a lot of them are actually back to work in the office now, which I feel like, again, can definitely cause a bit of a rush in the morning. All right, now for concealer, you guys know that I love the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, but I also really, really love the Wet n Wild Incognito, and this is cheaper. I think this is $4, and it's really, really good. Like everybody talks about the e.l.f. one, and for good reason, because it's great. I talk about it too, but this one's really good too. So I'm gonna use this today. This is in shade Light Medium. I use this very frequently. So I'm gonna apply this to my under eyes, and I'm kind of doing like a line here. Then I'll feather it a little bit in the center and then up like that on the outer corner of my eye, just to create like a more lifted look to the face. I also have a couple blemishes, so I'm just gonna spot conceal with that. And I normally use the flat side of the sponge to blend the foundation. Then I'll use this side part to blend out the concealer. And it fits really well on the under eye. And you guys will see, I kind of blend everything out first, and then I leave the areas that I'm spot concealing, like a specific blemish, last, because I like to let the concealer kind of like dry a little bit on them. I don't know how to explain it, but it helps to really amp up the coverage in those areas. So I pretty much blend everything else out first, and then I'll go in and blend those areas out. You basically want to let it sit for as long as you can. So if that's 10 seconds or 2 minutes, feel free. All right, now we're gonna jump in with cream products. I have been such a cream product girl recently. Like I don't even know what has happened to me because I used to never use cream anything besides like foundation. I was always powder, blush, powder, bronzer, everything, but I love the cream, like more natural look. So for cream bronzer, I'm gonna jump in with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. Love these. With this, I actually use the Putty Primer brush from e.l.f. So this is technically meant to be used with their primer, but I like to use it with their bronzer because it fits like perfectly in here. And then go in and sculpt out my cheeks. I'm using, I believe, the lightest one, which is the shade Tan Lines, but there are a few different shades in this Putty Bronzer, and I'm just gonna use this to kind of sculpt out my cheeks, and I'll bring it up a little bit on my forehead as well. And this just does a really nice natural job of sculpting out the face and doesn't take minutes and minutes of like blending. You can do it pretty fast and it'll look flawless. Once I'm done with the bronzer, I'll normally jump back in with that sponge that we're using because it has a flat top. And I go in and just clean up like right underneath. I'll just go like this, no additional product or anything, just using the product that was left on it just to clean up that bronzer. So we have a nice precise line. All right, up next are cream blush. I love these Milani little cheek kiss cream blushes. So this one is in the shade Coral Crush. These are super pigmented, so you don't need a lot. And I'm just gonna go right on top of where we did that bronzer and apply the blush. These again are another product that don't take a ton of blending because when you don't have a lot of time, you need products that are gonna work and that are gonna work fast. Where this one, you really don't need to like blend it a ton into your skin. It diffuses really easily on its own. And now this is totally optional, but what I've actually been doing is I've been taking the blush just right over my nose and giving that kind of like rosy nose effect. It's not for everybody, but I've been doing it recently, so I figured I would pop that in there. All right, we are good to go on all of our liquid products. So now we're gonna go ahead and set with powder. This is definitely important to make sure your makeup is gonna last all day long, which of course we want it to. So to set my under eyes, I like to use the Covergirl True Blends Banana Powder. This is really nice because it adds a little bit of brightness to the under eyes as well, while also setting them. So I'm just going underneath my eyes with this, and I'm gonna set my lid with it too, just so we don't have any creasing up there. And then to set all over the face, I just jump in with the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Powder. So this is technically a powder foundation, but I just use this to quickly set all over the rest of my face and make sure nothing is moving throughout the day. All right, complexion is all done. Time to move into the brows. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit just so you can see better. All right, for my brows, I have changed up the way I do them quite a bit actually, so I wanna tell you guys all the details. So I've been using the Covergirl Micro Brow, which you already know that I love this. And I have shade Honey Brown here, and I'm gonna go in and just line the underneath part of my brow. And then instead of going in and lining the top and then heavily filling them in like I used to do, I basically just flick it upwards and feather out this back part of my brow to make them a little more natural looking and more fluffy, not so like Instagram thick brow perfection sort of thing. And this is also a lot faster, so that's helpful. So I just do those little flicking motions, then I'll go into the spoolie on the other side and kind of spoolie everything out so that there aren't any harsh lines. Then I jump in with the NYX Brow Glue. This can be a kind of goopy product, so you wanna make sure that you don't like overly saturate this little brush, but it does work well to really pick your brows up and hold them in place all day. So I'm just running this through them to set them in place so that they don't move. All right, one brow is done. I'm gonna go do my other brow real quick, and then we will go on to the eyes. All right, brows are done. We're ready to move on to eyes. You guys will see as we go through the rest of the tutorial, I spend the most time on like the complexion and the brows kind of base, and then everything else is pretty fast. I don't do a ton on the eyes. I just like to enhance them. So the palette that I love using, this is from ColourPop. This is the Cream Soda palette. And I know sometimes people are like, ColourPop's not drugstore, but this is a $9 palette, so it's at a drugstore price point. I do have an affiliate code with ColourPop too, which is code Kelly, which will get you an additional 10% off, so it can be even cheaper if you want to use that code. But this is legitimately the one that I do always use. You can see it's literally dirty. Sorry about that. But anyways, so I like to go in with this matte brown shade right here, and I basically use this to not only contour out my eye, but also contour my nose. So I take a fluffy brush like this. You don't need a lot, so just kind of dust off the excess. And I'm gonna go in on my crease where I naturally have this contour in my eye and buff this shade in there just to emphasize that area. And then I will also take this brush and bring it right down the side of my nose to contour out my nose as well, and just kind of connect everything together with the contour in my eye to the contour on my nose. It's really quick and it's easy and gets the job done. And do the same thing on the other eye. I like to go in on the eye first to get the most product saturated there, and then go in with whatever's left of my brush to bring down as the nose contour. And you kind of kill two birds with one stone, or whatever that saying is while doing this. I don't want to be killing any birds, but you guys, you know the saying, you know what I mean. Once that's done, I go in with the matte shade right here, and I'm gonna just work that all over the eye. This has a bit of like a peachy kind of undertone to it. It's very pretty. And just pop that down. Then using that same brush, I go in with the lightest shimmer shade in the palette, and I just pop this beneath the brow bone to really make that area pop, and right in the inner corners. And this is also gonna help to make you appear like more awake as well. So if you're tired in the morning, adding a little bright pop to your inner corners will definitely awaken your eyes. To further make the eyes pop and look more bright and awake, I love to jump in with a lighter colored liner on my waterline. So I love white liners. The white liner in Exit from ColourPop is one of my favorites, but recently I've been reaching for this one. This is in the shade Honeydew, so it's a little bit darker. It's like a tan instead of a stark white. So it's a little bit more natural, but still gives you that bright pop underneath your eyes. So I like to pop this in the waterline to add that bright pop. You guys can see the difference from this eye versus this eye that doesn't have anything. And this liner doesn't budge. It really does last all day, so I really do like this. And now this next part is optional, but if I have a couple extra minutes to spare in the morning, I like to go in with like a brown liner, and I'll go just on the outer part of my eye and line my top lash line. And I only do it about halfway in. And then I just grab a little liner brush and wing it out. It's a lot easier to do it this way than like actually doing winged liner with like a liquid product, because that can definitely take a long time and more precision. This is just quick and easy. So if I have an extra minute, I like to do it. All right, we are good to go on that, and we are ready to jump into mascara. Now, on an everyday basis, I've just been putting mascara on my upper lashes. Obviously, feel free to do whatever you want, but I've really been liking the Maybelline Sky High. I love this since I first tried it. And so normally daily, I will just put this on my upper lashes, especially during the day. But then an easy way, if you want to transition a daytime makeup look into a nighttime makeup look without having to take everything off, is I will just go in and kind of smoke out my lower lash line since there's nothing really down here with like some shadow and then go in with lower lash line mascara. Maybe pop some lashes on, and it's an easy way to transition from a day to nighttime look. But for a quick, easy, everyday look, I just stick to my upper lashes. So I'm just coating them with the mascara. About 2 coats of this normally makes a big difference for me. So that's all I typically do. All right, lashes are all done. I like to jump back in on the face super quickly and just go in with an all over kind of glowy bronzer, because obviously we contoured, but we didn't actually bronze the skin. So I love this bronzer from L'Oreal. This is the Bronze Please. It's literally the biggest pan ever and will last you pretty much your whole life. Because I use this all the time and have not even come close to hitting pan. So definitely love this, and just go in on the skin, bronze it up a little bit. I'll mostly just focus this on my cheek area. If I want to add a little extra blush, I love this one from Milani. This is the Peach of Me. It's just so pretty, and it's super glowy. You can see it's like marbled, so it has the peach, but then it also has kind of like a highlighty shade. It's just beautiful. So I'll go and just pop this on the cheeks. And then for highlight, I love the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic. This one is in the shade Twilight Gleam. So pretty. And pop this on my cheeks and right down the nose. Last but not least for lips, I love this lip liner. This is from Kokie, and this is in the shade Warm Nude. And so I go in and line my lips with this. It's pretty similar to my natural lip shade. I would say it's like maybe a shade or 2 darker. And then I'll go in and kind of fill in the sides of my lips with this as well once they're lined. It's just easier to do this than grabbing for like another lipstick product. I'll leave the center part of my lips natural though. And then I just jump in with the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This is in the shade Mood. Love this. Pop this all over the lips, kind of work them together so everything blends. And then to set, I love to use the JOA Crystal Glow Refreshing Luminizer. This gives a really pretty glow to the skin. So I'll just spray this. It's a super light mist too, which is nice. And it makes it so that there's not like a real drying time. Like it kind of feels like nothing on your skin. And then we are good to go. And if you're like me, you're normally running out the door at this point, but at least you know that you look good. So I love this quick little makeup routine. Everything's super affordable, super fast, easy, and everything works. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon for my next video. Bye guys.